Hey everybody, look who's here. It's Susie Q96. I see a few people lingering and loitering. I see official gold digger. Handy 73.6. Gina R. Who else has popped in here while I was over hanging out with some other detectorists? Okay, I'm a little early. I always am. Had to make sure my stuff was going to work because I just came out of a Zoom chat, and when you're in Zoom you can't check your stuff over here because it's using your camera and everything. So yeah, they were having there's another Wednesday night group of metal detectorists, but they used to quit at 8 o'clock, which was why I scheduled my shows for 8. And they would quit and come back at 9:30, but they're not doing that right now. I guess their whole life was wrapped around watching some TV show. I'm trying to remember what it was. Survivor, I think it was. Anyway, so I go over there, get their gossip, and then come over here and do my show. So anyway, I'm going to start this whole thing off by letting everybody know that my sinus infection is back. So I'm not like my super duper cheerful self tonight. Kellen from Pennsylvania. I was going to say something that rhymed with it, but no, I'm not going to do that. Kellen is lurking. Got his little eyeballs on. Means he's in another channel besides mine. That's okay. I confess, sometimes I'll be in more than one. Hi, Kellen. Sometimes I'll be in a coin collecting channel and I'll be watching metal detecting videos on the side, or the other way around. The only time I can't really get away with that is Florida Thunder digging with Rob. I can't do it in his channel because I'm a moderator there. And his channel, when he's live streaming, is very busy. So there's no way I can't be in two places at once in that one. So anyway, I'm waiting a few minutes because I started early. Normally I don't start till 8. And I don't want to, I'm kind of waiting for my other moderator for a reason. I hope she shows up, because part of my mail call has something to do with her. Anyway, this is my regularly scheduled metal detecting night. But Kellen, I do sometimes, if there's like not very many people in the channel, but that particular channel, he'll have like 200-300 people in there. And the chat is going so fast. And most of the time, I'm the only mod except his girlfriend. And she can post links and things like that, but she doesn't really know the answers to the questions that people are asking. So I kind of really have to be on the ball over there when I'm modding in that channel. And I used to be a mod in some other channels. And for those who don't know, most people in here know me. I don't know about official gold digger, but most people in here know that I have some disabilities, and one of those is that I suffer from bipolar, and every once in a while somebody will, they'll really torque me off, and I'll say something I probably shouldn't. And so one was because a guy I worked to help a group that he was trying to get equipment for, and then he gave the credit to somebody completely different, and that kind of ticked me off. And I told him to do something with a part of his anatomy that's physically impossible. And so I can watch his channel all I want now, but I'm not allowed to say anything. I earned it, but I probably shouldn't have told him to try that physical impossibility, but I did it. And most people don't realize that I am bipolar, and so they just think I'm being a bee. And in that case, I wasn't. I just was extremely upset. And yeah. Anyway, come on, people. Let's get into channel. We'll talk about some just general BS while I'm waiting for 8 o'clock to roll around. Kellen, you make up your own answers for life. I noticed again today that another channel, actually another couple of channels, have jumped on my car wash quarters bandwagon. Ah, there's my sister from another Mr. Susan Berman. How are you, honey? We're killing a little time waiting for 8 o'clock to roll around so I can start this wonderful show. Kellen, I don't know if you remember Susan. She came over a couple of times in Shibby Rob's auctions with me. And she is also a detectorist. I confess it's my fault. I took her metal detecting on Clearwater Beach. She went home and they bought a metal detector within, I'm going to say, within 2 weeks. Anyway, what I was saying was a couple of channels have picked up on the car wash quarter thing. They're not doing the same thing I am, but they have figured out that that's a place they can get quarters. And I do hope that they are not just going in there and grabbing quarters. I do hope that they are actually washing their cars there and vacuuming and so forth, because they will switch to tokens if they see people are just using them for the laundromat change machine or something. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting that I've been doing that for couple months now, and then all of a sudden in this last week or so I've seen 2 or 3 channels, you know, blatantly advertising car wash quarters, searching the car wash quarters. So I guess I started a fad. I know it, people can't get quarters from the bank. That wasn't really why I started doing it. I started doing it because I was at the car wash one day and I got my quarters. And I had my hand right up to the little slot to drop the quarter in and realized that was a silver quarter. And I went, whoa. And I looked at it and sure enough, it was a silver quarter. And all of a sudden the light bulb came on over my little head. Hi, Pete, how are you? The light came on over my head saying, you know, you need to be searching these coins. And so that's kind of what started it. And I noticed right away there was a lot of state quarters and national park things. There's Tiffany. I was looking for you. I was looking for the Tiffany before I open this mail. We might as well go ahead and start with the opening of the mail because I only have one piece. And it's from one of Shibby Rob's auctions. And I also had made a donation that day. So part of it is what I got on my donation. And then the cool part was I picked, he has these little games. And anyway, I picked one that got me a big prize. And I'm going to show you that first because it's the first one I ever owned. So let me put my little microscope on. Now, if I ever found something like this metal detecting, they would probably have to come and pick me up in an ambulance. Just because this is pretty snazzy. Pretty snazzy. All right, let me see here. Da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. Looky who I got. I'm trying to get this up a little higher. Oh, look. Isn't she beautiful? She's just lovely. Absolutely lovely. And the reverse is just as pretty. Look at this. And this is the only one I have. I've never owned one before. So I'm really, really, really happy that I won that. That's major cool. You'll drive the ambulance now. That's right, Kellen, you're qualified to do that. So you wait for Tiffany to open mail from her, but don't wait for me. Well, I did wait for you, and you didn't show up. So after 30 minutes, I went ahead and opened the mail, Kellen. So nanner. That's what happened. I'll go back and do the replay. Oh, and there was also a 1964 Kennedy in there. And then the rest of it is auction stuff. Heading up north to look for the comment. Are you in Canada, Gold Digger? If you are, I can understand that remark completely. These earrings Tiffany got in the auction and gave them to me. I understand why you're doing that then. I totally do. I would probably be right out there looking for the comet too. I'm not going to be able to see it from down here in South Georgia, so there's no point in me running outside. Okay. Anyway, let me... Oh, well, wrong camera, but at least that one's properly aligned. Okay, let me get back on this. So, anyway, Tiffany got these earrings for me. I was bidding on them. They're vintage sterling silver earrings. And one of them has a little flaw in it, but it's not particularly noticeable. And the reason I said I wanted to wait for Tiffany was because I told her that even though they are not for pierced ears, that I would wear them. I have already looked at them and I have figured out how I can adapt them to be pierced earrings. And I may do that because they are really cool. So that's why I was not wearing any earrings when I came on. Oh, you got a horse blanket. Did you get that in the auction, Cohen? So anyway, there we go. I have my lovely earrings from Miss Tiffany, and I thank you for those. And then in the same packet, I got this, and I don't remember, I was bidding against somebody on this, and I kind of regret it now because even though it is marked sterling, I'm not 100% sure that it is because of a spot on the back of it. I'm going to test it tomorrow. I do have a test kit. I definitely have the ability to test metals, but there's a place here on the back that kind of looks like it is silver plated rather than silver. I haven't tried to clean it yet, but it just looks odd to me, but it is marked sterling right there. So anyway, it's a beautiful old set, and I actually got them for my aunt who is 99 years old, and these are totally of her style. And the earrings, oops, are of the older style with the screw back mounts on them, and they're also marked sterling. But I'm thinking that this that the brooch, even though it's marked sterling, may be plated, but it's still a really cool old set. I love vintage jewelry, so I got that. I gotta get back to my other camera. I've got to get a little tripod for a camera so I can have a close-up camera. So anyway, so I got that little set, and like I said, I'm upon looking at it, I may have paid too much for it because And I'm not blaming Rob because it is marked sterling, and that's, you know, that's what he went by. And then he threw in a chain, which needs cleaning desperately, but this definitely is sterling. So I got a really nice chain, and I have something absolutely wonderful I want to put on there. I have a locket that I needed a heavier chain for, and it's an older style, so it is a pretty nice chain. So I got that, and then I got a whole bunch of rings. This is what I was bidding on these. Oops. And I may have overpaid a little bit, but not really, because I averaged it out and I only paid like $5 each for the rings. They're all marked 925. Some of them I like better than others. But so anyway, one of the reasons I buy the jewelry in there is because people like Kel and Elle would buy the jewelry and melt it down. And when I see a piece of vintage jewelry heading for the melt, I'm like, oh, no, 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 I can't let that happen. So anyway, I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 6. I thought there were 7. There were supposed to be 7. This one is the honker of the bunch here. This is a fake engagement ring, but it is sterling silver, but it's got a honker of a CZ in it, and it is marked on the inside that it's a CZ. So anyway, so I got those, and that was my entire mail call for this week so far. However, I did get a message from someone I do not know, and oh, there's another. I knew there were supposed to be 7 rings. I just found the other one fell out of my thing here. That's actually one that I like too. Anyway, I got a message from an anonymous person who is sending a donation over for the channel. I don't know what it is. All I know is I was given a tracking number for it and told basically I can give it away. I can keep some of it for me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So, but apparently we have someone who likes us here at the channel and is sending a donation. And actually, like I said, I can't tell you who it is because I don't know, but we will look forward to that. So that was the entire mail call for today. And that was, as I mentioned the other night in the coin show, because I'm getting ready to move and some financial situations are arising that I did not anticipate, I've had to kind of cut back on giveaway things, which of course sends a lot of people running out the door. If you're not giving them a prize, they don't want to be here. And I'm real sorry about that. I do try to give away things periodically, but right now with the moving situation going on, I'm not going to be giving away 9, 10, 12 things. You know, usually I give away 3 or 4 things, and I'm not going to be able to do that for a while. So please don't cry and please don't bail on me. You know, usually I give, and things will get back to normal, hopefully by Halloween. All right. So now we're officially in the time zone for the metal detecting goodies. And I do have some metal detecting information tonight. And Kellen, you stay away from my 925. You see this? See my rings? I don't make rings. That's the one thing I don't make. All my rings, except one, are 925. One of them's white gold. You don't be melting down my 925 stuff. You'll hurt my little bitty feelings, and I'll have to come up there to Pennsylvania and kick your scrawny little behind. Yep. Somebody sent me a picture. Let's see what it is. I got some. So, woo! Lordy mercy. I don't know if I can. That is a piece of silver. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. Yeah, well, you would have a heart attack if you saw that picture that was just sent to me. I don't know if I can figure out how to put that up on the screen or not, but that I'm going to venture to say that that is probably worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And no, you're not getting it. Okay, so I do have some cool stuff to talk about for metal detecting. The first and probably the biggest news going around in the metal detecting world is a whole new metal detecting world. It is an actual metal detecting network on the internet that is similar in nature to Facebook, only it is strictly dedicated to metal detecting. And I'm going to see if I can pull this tab up here. It is called the Detector Network. And I may have lost it. Okay, there it is. Now if I can, it's set up in a way very similar to Facebook. And you can, if you are a metal detectorist, they have rooms in there for different things. You have your own page. You can start groups. They have a buy, sell, trade area. I mean, it's so far everything I've looked at is pretty awesome. It's a way to network with other detectorists. They're working on a phone app for it. They have in here, you have your news feed, you have photo albums, you have groups, you have a place to post articles and videos, different forums, a marketplace. It's pretty impressive. I saw the guy Scott who put it together. He's over on the other side of the pond over in Great Britain. He was on the Digging Deep Beats channel Monday night, and I spoke with him today, and we're trying to set up a time for him to come on this channel and talk about what they're doing with this project. But I see this as a great tool for a number of different things, not the least of which would be finding other people in your area that you can detect with. I've lived in where I live for 2 years and have never found anyone here that I could go detecting with. It is a really, really neat idea. I just finished signing up for it this morning, and I have 11 people following me already, and I have picked out 29 people that I'm following. I'm finding some new channels and some places that have some really good information. and I'm really impressed with what he is doing there. I'm going to give it a go and see if it'll help me, because I'm moving. I don't know anybody to detect with where I'm going, except I do have family members I can detect with. So that is a plus. But I think that might be a good tool. And also, like, if you're going on vacation somewhere and you want to go metal detecting, you can find people on there who are in that area. You can find out if there's any laws or ordinances or things you need to be aware of before you get there. I'm really psyched up about that, and it's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. I like that. It's free. Because there was a detectors for a while talking about, oh, well, I'm going to put up a buy, sell, and trade site, and I'll charge this much, and you can sell your stuff and then you pay me. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. So this one's free, and it's very, very well organized. I'm going to really stay on what is happening with this site. I think it's going to be a great tool for people who metal detect. Well, I'm making a mess here. I just bought a new keyboard like a month ago, and it's fundamentally useless. I think it's full of cat fur. Yeah, I do have that very old farm, and I'm real excited about that. I'm going to post the link here for DetectorNet. Any of you want to go check them out? Like I said, I'm trying to arrange to have the founder of DetectorNet join us. Like I said, he does live in Great Britain, so it's a timing issue of being able to get him on. But we are working on that. Hello, Dreadpool 26. Then there was another thing that I found this week, and I found it to be extremely helpful, and it mentioned I didn't even know about, and I felt like I was actually misusing one of my I threw myself out again. All right, we should still have sound. Do I have sound? I accidentally chucked myself out. Okay, I should have sound. All right, yeah, I'm back. Oh, my bad. I'm not particularly prepared today. I had a lot of ideas, and then unfortunately I also have a sinus infection, so I didn't get all of my things exactly located where I wanted them, and so I'm messing up things a little bit. But I've got a video that I really want to share with folks. Stop that. All right. Let me get back over here. Hello, Sublime. How are you? Okay, so the next thing I want to share is related to the Garrett pinpointer, the AT, they call it the Garrett Carrot because it's orange. And I recently started having trouble with mine a little bit, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I started doing a little research, and I came upon a video that I want to share with people, because even though I read the instructions that came with the Pro Pointer, nowhere in those instructions did it mention anything about calibrating and how to make the detector filter out certain things like hot rocks and that sort of things. And I found 2 or 3 videos about how to properly use the Pro Pointer. And this one was one of the best. Then there was also another one that I'm not sure I saved the link for, but this one, I did everything they said to do in this video, and now my pinpointer is working perfectly again. So even though all of this information was not in the little pamphlet that came with the device, it should be for $145. You would expect a full set of instructions, but they give you a little pamphlet that tells you how to get to the different settings, and that's about it. They didn't say anything in there about calibration or anything like that. So I found this video to be extremely handy. Oops. So we're going to share a link to that one. If you happen to have a Garrett Pro Pointer, they can get a little bit confusing with going from the different settings back and forth from the ones with sound versus the ones that are vibration only, and it can get a little odd in there. In this video, I used it, and I found it to solve a lot of my issues. So that's another detecting thing. Hi, Fleabag. So that was another thing that I watched this week. And I watched a lot of new channels this week. Not that the channels are new, they are new to me. Because what I decided to do, hi Coyote Whacker, what I decided to do was go to the channels of the people that I watch most often and look and see who they subscribe to. And by doing that, I stumbled across a number of channels that I thought were very well done and had good content. And I also stumbled across a couple that I was just like, ooh, there's way too much hype there. One of the ones that I watch this guy, and he actually has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to find it here in just a second. He also has, he's the one that has the metal detecting chat that I go to before I start mine. And I hate that I'm kind of running over him, but when I set mine up, he was not on at the 8 o'clock hour. That's when he logged off. So that was why I picked that time. But now he has extended his, so we're actually running over each other. So I figured the very least I can do is tell you a little bit about him. I'm looking for, anyway, let me stop this. And it takes me forever to do these screens. I'm sorry, I am not real good with switching screens back and forth and cameras back and forth. But this face right here, this is Park Rat Metal Detecting. This is Park Rat Pat. And one of the reasons that I like Pat is because he, you get on these channels and you see a lot of people using Garrett's, you see a lot of people using Mind Labs, you see more and more people using the Note to Macro series, the Simplex, and some of their other ones. You see once in a while, you'll see somebody using a Fisher or a Technetics. This is the white detector guy. He uses whites. He's one of their reps, and they're floundering right now trying to decide if they're even going to stay in business. And at first I thought Pat was going to be really upset by that, but he did mention that yes, he's upset because he's worked with and done with whites for years, but because of the situation, he is now able to go on his videos and use other brand name detectors and do things that he could not do before because of his devotion to the white detecting company. But he's down in Florida. He's in the Sebastian area of Florida, and he does do some beach detecting, but he's more of a dirt digging guy, and he's really funny. And if he finds junk, he makes it sound like it's the most exciting thing that he found all week. So I'm gonna give him a shout out. I just posted the link to his, and also Pat makes channel stickers and t-shirts. He has the machinery there, and his prices are comparable to anybody else's. And so if you are in the, and he can design some pretty good logos too. Hey, Nick, I'm bragging up here on Park Rat Pat. Nick's part of the gang from Park Rat's detecting chat. So anyway, if you need a logo and you need some stickers or the stuff like that, get a hold of Park Rat Metal Detecting. His prices are just as good as anybody else's, and it's kind of nice to support somebody that's part of the community. So I'm going to see if I can run just a little bit of his video, if I can get over here and do this. I don't want to run a whole bunch of it, but let's see if we can.
Here. This is a new place I located on the map. It's an island. It is a public park. So I came out here to do some scoping around and just get the lay of the land. It's looking promising, and I think I might get out here tomorrow with Wayne and Glenn if they're free. Let me turn the camera around and show you a little bit.
So anyway, that was a little bit of the Park Rat. And do I need to ask why you had to leave, or did you just have to leave? Sometimes I have to leave because it just gets to be too foul to be funny. And a lot of times, hi, Dan. A lot of times I'm the only female in there. Now tonight, Clark's Cove were there, and one half of Messy Hole was there, and so she was kind of in and out, but not really, because she couldn't hear. She didn't have the headphones on. But sometimes they get a little too off color for me. And I mean, you know, it's the good old boys club. But so that's why I go early, because the later that one goes, the funkier it gets. I mean, I love those guys, but sometimes I just gotta go. Okay, so let me see. I'm not going to do like a super long show tonight, simply because, like I told y'all, I'm dealing with this sinus infection that's just absolutely driving me out of my mind. Trying to think, I had something else I wanted to share, but it has escaped my little pea brain. I did the thing with the pinpointer. I did the detectornetwork.com. I did Park Rat Pat. There was something else. I'm so confused. This is why I usually have everything written out, and I'm a little bit more prepared with my things so that I can flip back and forth to the different topics without being quite such an idiot. But I'm not with it today at all. This is kind of an interesting one. I ran across this video. It's a real basic thing that I found. I'm going to share it. Oh, that's okay, History Digger. You're welcome to flop in here anytime. Yes, I do have a premiere up, Andy, for 10 o'clock this evening. I'm trying to...
Detectors work by transmitting an electromagnetic field
hush.
into the
You're
ground.
not supposed to be talking. Stop. Thank you. I got ahead of myself here. Okay. Got it. I absolutely hate when I'm in the middle of doing something like this and YouTube decides, oh, gee, this is a good time to put a commercial. and so then I am even more confused, because I'll be trying to open a window and then the commercial comes and I don't want to open the commercial. Okay, so I ran across this interesting video, and it's not very long. I'm going to play part of it just for the benefit of those who really don't understand how a metal detector works. I was looking for like vintage metal detecting footage, and I couldn't really find much of that, but I found
detectors
this.
Work by transmitting an electromagnetic field from the search coil into the ground. The control box contains the detector's electronics. This is where the transmit signal is generated and the receive signal is processed and converted into a target response. Audio response, or the tone you hear from a received signal, is assigned a visual display indicator, or VDI for short. These VDI numbers are determined by the metal detector manufacturer, and the sound you hear associated with each number are determined by the makeup of the metallic item. The VDI is not always correct, as they are put there in the detector by the manufacturer from a plethora of referenced items stored in the detector's memory. They should only be used as a guide, not an exact representation of the target indicator.
And the fun part of that is that every individual machine has different VDI numbers. So if you start out with a Garrett, and you learn all your VDI numbers, what usually rings up in that range, and then you go and you get a simplex. You're starting all over. It's like you stopped speaking English and started speaking Turkish or German, and then you get a Mind Lab, and their numbers are different. So even though they all fundamentally work the same, they all got to get their own little thing in there, and that's where they do it.
Any metal objects or targets within the electromagnetic field will become energized and retransmit an electromagnetic field of their own. The detector's search coil receives the retransmitted field and alerts the user by producing a target response. Metal detectors are capable of discriminating between different target types and can be set to ignore unwanted targets.
Now, there's something interesting right there. I have seen people who say, well, I don't want to find this. I don't want to find that. So they discriminate these things out. The problem is sometimes those signals overlap, where it could be like you say, I don't want to find nickels. Well, unfortunately, in that same range may also be gold. So if you notch out those, because you don't want to bother digging nickels, you might also be jumping over gold. So yes, the technology exists to do it, but it's not always the best plan of action. I have more and more started running what's called zero discrimination, not discriminating anything out, even chunks of iron and steel, because sometimes those are relics. I have a friend that he used to always dig with a lot of that stuff discriminated out, and he went on a trip with somebody up through Tennessee and went to some areas where there had been some Civil War activity, and his friend told him, no, you don't want to discriminate that stuff out. And he ended up finding a cannonball, which had he notched those VDI numbers out, he would never have found that. And that was like, to him, that was the best thing he found on his whole trip. So I don't, some of the detectors have different settings that automatically zero things out, and I'm starting to get away from doing that now. You'll see some of the videos that I've been doing. I'm doing them in all metal mode. I want to hear every piece of metal, not just the dimes and quarters.
In this illustration, we see the metal detector front and side view. Under the search coil, you see the detector's electromagnetic field, and you see the metallic object's electromagnetic field, otherwise known as eddy currents. This is the field of electromagnetic energy produced when being infused with electromagnetic energy from the search coil. The eddy currents are what your receiving coil is returning back to you in the form of an audio response or target tone. In short, this is the basis of how your detector works. Stay tuned. I'll be releasing a video with all about frequency soon.
So there you go. If you didn't know before, you do now. Now you know basically how a metal detector works. And why am I doing stuff like that that's really basic and beginner? And that's because I have a lot of people that come in here that don't own metal detectors or are thinking about buying detectors. And that's why I zone in on little things like that. Because like earlier there was a discussion about magnet fishing, and the comment made was that the magnet won't pick up things like gold and silver. Well, a metal detector will pick up pretty much any kind of metal, including the ones you don't really want it to pick up. But that's half the fun of it. I have dug things that I said, nah, I'm not going to dig that signal. That signal's jumpy. That, you know, it doesn't sound like a very good signal. And then you dig it up and you find a ring in there. History digger. I just did. Okay, Tiff, thanks for coming. See, I got my earrings. I just did a series of videos where I went back over a place that not only had I searched in different modes, but I had searched with different detectors. And I recently did a series where I went back over that same place, which is supposedly, quote, hunted out, and started going through in all metal mode. And I was still pulling up change and little pieces of jewelry and stuff. So I'm switching back and forth a lot more now than I did before, because where I live, I have so few places to hunt that I've kind of been over and over and over the same places. So in order to make them produce anything, I have to get creative and do things like switch over into all metal and see what I pull up. Yeah, I understand that, Dan, and I have done that. There was a place I was detecting that there was just change everywhere. There was so much clad coinage that I decided I only really wanted to dig the quarters and the dimes because there were a lot of pennies, and I kind of notched them out. And yeah, I cherry picked that place. And then I went back later and when I was running out of places to hunt. I said, oh yeah, let me go back there and you know, dig all that stuff that I skipped. And it's a good thing to do that if you go somewhere, like let's say I get the opportunity to go to a beach, and I know I've only got 2 hours on that beach, and then I'm going to be whisked off away to somewhere else, and I'm never going to get to come back to that beach. Am I going to notch out some of the stuff? You better believe I am, because I want that 2 hours that I do have to be focused on the possibilities of finding something a little better than zinc pennies. So yeah, will I do it under that circumstance? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. The Zinkans. I was down in Reddington Beach back when I had my my Garrett, and all I was pulling was Zinkans. I went back to that same area not very long after that with a simplex, and I found completely different things. So, you know, and I had tried to block the Zinkans, but sometimes you just can't. No, I was supposed to get to go to Florida at the end of this month before my move, but unfortunately, for 2 reasons, I'm going to have to cancel that trip, and I'm not real happy. No, and if you wonder why I keep wiping my mouth, this medication they gave me for my sinuses, it's causing my mouth to get really dry, and then it's like kind of chapping. So I've got a lot of chapstick on, and it's bothering me because I don't usually wear that crap. So I apologize for that. Anyway, I'm having to cancel the Florida trip, number one, because of the sudden, or not so sudden, big rise in COVID down there. I'm high risk, and even though I wasn't going to be around any people per se other than the hotel, it has jumped so high now that I can't even trust it, you know, to stop No, I did not dig all those rings. I put those rings in an auction. I do have a tray full of rings that I did dig, and these, no, I did not dig actually any of these. I wear silver, and most of the rings that I have dug are gold, so they're in a tray. I don't wear them. Anyway, the second reason I'm having to cancel the Florida trip is it's monetary. I thought I had some guys lined up to load the truck for me when I'm moving, and now they have a paying job, and so I know that they're going to need to do that. So I am going to have to, if I can get to the tray, I'll get it out. I mean, there's not that many gold ones because I haven't found that many, but there's a few. I've only been detecting for about a year, so I'm not like overwhelmed with rings. I don't get to detect the good places either. It's not like I get to go to Central Park in New York City or something. I live in a very rural county in some areas that aren't very safe. So for that reason, there's a lot of places I'd like to detect that I can't. But anyway, getting back to why I'm canceling the Florida trip. The trip was going to cost me about $400. And I was comfortable with it because, well, just because I was. But then I had some financial setbacks, and I found out that I'm going to have to pay a crew to come and load the truck, and that's going to cost me $230. So something's got to give, and it's unfortunately going to be that Florida trip, and I'll just have to save up and go down in February for Florida Hunt 7. Okay, let me see if I can figure out a way to do this. I don't have the best camera equipment for showing rings. I'll show you. I've shown these before, but I have different people now, so let me figure out how to get to the camera that I want and see if I can do anything with these. Okay, this is my little tray of rings that I have found. They're not exactly in the order that I found them, but they're close. This is the very first ring that I found, and it's 14K, and it has a lot of special meaning to me. It has the name Otto on it. I can't get it to focus very good, but it's an older ring, and that's the very first one. I found this ring with a bounty hunter gold digger in Clearwater, Florida, right after my friend Tommy's memorial service. Yes, that's a year of detecting. Yeah. Actually, not even a year. Let me see. Yeah, a little, right around a year. Then this is a sterling silver one that I found here locally. That one I wear sometimes. And then I have several junkers or plated ones. This one, it's missing its stone. This one, I wish I'd have found the whole ring, even though it's total junk. Just because it was so funny. It had a little dollar sign on it. It's like a little kid's bubblegum machine ring or something. And I wished I had the whole ring on that one. And then I have two that I found the same day. In the same place. But I don't think they belong to the same person because they're very different sizes. Let's see if I can. The two on this finger right here. The one it obviously was a mother's ring or a grandmother's ring. It's missing one of the stones. And then the other is a signet ring with the initial P on it. There's actually a reference in one of my recent videos to me finding those out of a sheer stroke of luck of being in a park the day they were moving some metal bleachers out of the way for an event, and I had wanted to search under those bleachers, but of course they were metal, so it was kind of causing a lot of interference. So the guy told me, you know, they're only going to be moved for 2 days, so, you know, hit it now. This is the parks guy. He knows me. And so I got over there and pounded it real well and found those two. This is probably my favorite of everything that I found. This is 14K, and this camera is not doing it justice, but it is a crucifix ring. It's pretty heavy. I've forgotten exactly what it weighs now, but that there's one of my videos called brought to you by the letter K, which is a little play on the Sesame Street. And then this one is a junk ring that I found, but I like it because it says best friends in it. And then I got this one not too long ago. It's just a little junkety junk, but and I've lost a couple. Turns out I had a hole in my my bag, and so a couple rings fell out. And then I got like little, I call bubblegum machine rings. And this is another one. This one is actually sterling, but the stone's gone out of it. So those are my rings. Like I said, there's four of them are gold, and 3 of them are sterling, and the rest of them are just bling rings. And I have some videos that I filmed them, but they have not been released yet. That I'm slowly working my way through. In fact, there's one that's debuting tonight, premiering tonight at 10 o'clock after this thing is over. That is one of those. And all the finds from those are still in plastic bags because I haven't filmed the wrap-ups for those videos yet. And I think there's a couple rings in those too, but nothing, you know, nothing spectacular. And there's maybe next week I will do a display of jewelry that's marked, but it's fake. I have found several of those. I found a gold bracelet that turned out not to be a gold bracelet, even though it's marked 14K. I found a chain that's marked 925, but there's no way it's sterling silver. Then I found another chain that was marked 14K. No way. So I have found, and a few other odds and ends little pieces that are just totally fake. And and I've got a ring that's fake. And a lot of that fake stuff is stuff that people are buying on like the Wish app, and it ships from China, and then you get it and it's fake. Every once in a while I'll order something on there because they will refund your money if you can show them it's fake. And I ordered a ring that had my birthstone in it, and it came, and I took one look at it and I said, that's not sterling silver. And so I got on their customer service thing, and they ask you to send a picture of why you want to return it or whatever. And my picture is me holding a magnet with the ring hanging from it. Now, if it was sterling, it wouldn't be stuck to the magnet. So pretty obvious that it's a fake. And I haven't, those things that I opened earlier from my mail that I have not tried to magnet that one that says sterling, but I got a feeling a magnet's going to stick to it. But the person whose auction it was did not know, and I don't believe he knew. Yeah, he just went by, it said sterling. So he's not really a jewelry dude. So, but anyway, so that's my rings. Then I've got, oh, they were also in there. I forgot about these. They're just stuck down in there because I didn't have any place to put them at the time. But this is probably the nastiest buffalo nickel. I did not even know it was a buffalo nickel. When I dug it, I just threw it in my bag, assuming that it was just, you know, your run-of-the-mill ordinary nickel, because it is so cruddy from being in the ground. That's why I call it from the ground up. But you can read the date on it very clearly. It's a 1937. Like I said, when I dug it, I did not even realize that it was a buffalo. It was just so messed up that I couldn't tell without getting it home. And I took a little plastic toothpick, a little flexible toothpick, and picked away at the dirt a little bit. And then I realized it was a buffalo. You can see where I hit it. There's a little shiny spot. That's where I hit it with my digger. But that one, this dime, 62 dime. Somewhere I've got a Canadian dime that it was my first silver, was the Canadian dime. And I really I've found hardly any wheat pennies. I'm surprised. I have another one that's a 45. But anyway, those were stuck in my ring tray. So that's some of my stuff. Yeah, I was really shocked when I got that buffalo cleaned up. Hi, Cynthia Swain, how are you? Like, I was really surprised. Hey, Knox. When I got that buffalo cleaned up and got all the Georgia clay and stuff enough off of it and realized that it's actually had a legible date. So I was pretty happy with those. But and it's a shame. There's a lot of places here in this town that probably have some really, really good treasure, but the town I live in is not very safe for me to go out on my own. Can I put the buffalo back up? Sure, I can indeed, if you give me a minute. But there's some places here I would love to detect, but the neighborhoods that they are in, I would not be safe by myself. And in the entire 2 years that I have lived here, I have never found another detectorist or anyone I could interest in going with me. So I have had to not detect those areas. What part are we looking for here? Oops, I'm sorry. I'm klutzy today. I have very good lighting in here. Okay. What do we want to see? Oh, the 3 legs are 4? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Looks like he's got all 4 of them. Yep, he got all 4. He's a 4-legged variety. Anyway, like I said earlier, I didn't really prepare my show very well. There is some really good information at the beginning of it, and I'm going to cycle back around to one of those things because there's more detecting people in here now, and I really want those people to get in on this if they have not yet heard about it, and that is the new website called Detector Network. Detector Network is like Facebook for metal detectorists. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go check it out. I made some great contacts on there already, and I just found out about it. I just got signed up this morning, and it's really a pretty kind of awesome deal. That if you're not on there and you're a metal detectorist, you probably will want to get on there. It doesn't cost you anything. And I have already found some pretty interesting things over there. And this is kind of my page on there. See if I can get to the home. But it's set up in a similar way to Facebook. They have a news feed, they have photo albums that you can save posts and read them later. They have groups, they have pages, place for articles. They have a commercial market, and then they have like a buy sell trade market. They have a place to post events for detecting. And this is a worldwide thing. This is not just one little region. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, thank you so much for coming over, History Digger. I really appreciate it. This is a little bitty channel, and some days I'm much better prepared than I am right now. But I was kind of under the weather today, and I even said I wasn't 100% sure I was going to do this. But I usually don't cancel my show. So I do have a what was I going to say? See, a lot of this is the medication for this sinus thing. It's fogging my memory a little bit. Come on, focus me back again. I had something I was going to say. All right. Oh yeah, I was going to change my camera for a second, and you'll understand why in a minute. Good night, History Digger. Thank you so much for being here. If y'all haven't done so, please hit the like button. It makes me feel better. I'm easily amused these days. All right, hang on here. I'm gonna just put that right there for a minute, just because I don't want anybody to see me. I'm not completely properly attired this evening. All right. All righty. Let me move that. I'm gonna do a giveaway. Yes, I know. I'm only doing one tonight because, frankly, it's just not been good for me money-wise. Somebody said, well, you're always asking for money. I said, yeah, it's because nobody sends any. I said, you get people go on these other channels, these big channels, and they send super chats over there, and those are demonetized channels. If you're going to send money, yeah, that rang up real good, that keyboard. If you're going to send money to the channels, send them to the little channels that aren't monetized. They're the ones that need it. That's just my attitude. But anyway, I'm going to give away a hat tonight. And if you don't want the hat, Well, gee, I'm sorry. This is a metal detecting show. I'll have to find some other piece of metal to give you. Got my toy box out here. I'm not sure what I want to part with here in the toy box. Alrighty. I'm just mostly newer things that I'm getting ready to do a big giveaway before I move. I am now at 620 people. I need to get to 666. I know there's a couple people that are superstitious about that. Yeah, right. If you don't like the hat, you're getting a pull tab. Thank you, Nick. That's about it. All right. Now, if you don't like the hat, you're getting clad, mostly. Seriously, you're getting a 2019 D NIFC Kennedy. You're getting a 2004 D Jefferson nickel from the Louisiana Purchase, and you are going to get a little piece of silver, a 1966 Kennedy. So you have a choice. Yeah, come on, pull tab. God owns all the numbers. Pretty much. Okay. I don't know how many people I got in here, but I don't have that many. Oh, and I forgot, there is one other thing that comes with this prize. It is the genuine official It's Susie Q metal detecting and coin collecting sticker. Put that right on your hat. There you go. All right. So what we're going to do, in order to be in this contest, you need to be at least 18. You need to live in the United States. I'm sorry, but I just spent like $14 mailing something to somebody in Canada, and I'm hoping that she even gets it. You will get one guess only. You need to be the closest without going over. And I'm going to give you a range of numbers in which to guess. And those who have been here the last couple of weeks will understand my range, and the rest of you will learn shortly. I'm going to set my little alarm thing here. Whoops, that's not the alarm, that's the weather report. Okay, we're going to set it to 2 minutes. And as soon as it hits the screen, you may start guessing. The range is between 5 and 30. You may guess once. So there should be plenty of numbers to go around. I don't have that many people in my channel at any given time at this point. And I kind of like it that way. And somebody was kind of getting on my case about the low number of subscribers I have, because they had like a bazillion people. And I'm like, well, you know what? This way I can talk to everybody. I can look up and say, hi, Dimebag Daryl Lowe. Welcome to my channel. Glad to see you. Have some first timers in here tonight, and that's good. I always like that. One guess, closest without going over. When the alarm goes off, we'll finish the deal. We still got right around a minute. While we're doing that, I'm going to cue something else up that I'm going to do in here. I can show it to you on my channel. It's from my other channel. All right, back over here. So we finished the, can you switch it out for a copper round? I don't know if I have any copper rounds to give you, unless you want a penny. That's a copper and it's round. But, okay. Stop, stop, stop. First, we got to see who wins, and then we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay. Now, I got to move these for a minute for the next part of the program. Because I need a surface upon which, oh, that won't work. Oh, phooey, phooey. I hate when I am not prepared properly. All right, this will work. I just need something that's not fabric, because what we're going to do next is we're going to roll these dice. The smallest number that you could possibly roll with a combination of 5 dice would be 5 ones or a 5. The highest number is 30. That's why we had the range from 5 to 30. Yeah, you did. I just got to get in the box and see if I've got them over here in my toy box, or if they're still in the I haven't sorted through them yet box. All right. So I'm going to roll these dice and see who gets the closest without going over to whatever number we add these up to. Okay, we've got 10, 12, 14, 16. So far, Coyote Whacker at 15 is the closest. And I don't see anybody else that's that close. Coyote at 15. Fleabag went over. Dan went over. Knox went over. Cynthia was close, but not quite close enough. Looks like Coyote Whacker is our winner. Good job, Coyote. You want the coinage or the hat? Coins or hat? Making that hat look like it's got my logo on it. I never thought about that. I could stick one on there when I go hunting. It'll look like I have fancy hats. So you just let me know. Coinage. Yeah, I use the term coinage. So what do you want, Coyote? You want the coinage or the hat? Coinage. But nobody wants the hats. I can't understand. I'm going to have to force people to take the metal detecting stuff during the metal detecting show, and I don't want to do that because I want people that really want the stuff to get them. Yeah. Down here, though, if you do not wear a hat, your scalp is going to get sunburned in about 20 minutes. I kid you not. I even wear one. Well, what I've been wearing lately is a fabric turban that covers my scalp and my ears, because otherwise I get nice and toasty real quick. Oh, ow, oh, ow. Okay. Drop my phone on the floor. Let me mark on here. Another thing I need to let everybody know is, other than Handy Andy's package and this one to Coyote, everybody's stuff has finally gone out. So if you were expecting a package from me, it, as they say, the check's in the mail. Because I just dropped a pile of cash, getting everybody's stuff sent out. And the reason I'm only doing one is one drawing per stream right now is I'm trying to put some stuff away for a big one that I have not advertised yet. Okay, let me get my other camera back on, and then I'm gonna force you to watch a 1-minute commercial, but it's not what you think. This is for my other channel, and so make sure I'm ready to do this. Okay. Uh-oh, that's not what I want. Trying to. Hi, it's Susie Q. I'm here today to let you know about a special event at Susie Q Jewelry and Decor. This Sunday, July the 19th at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we will be celebrating Christmas in July. I figured it's pretty hot outside right now. We need something to cool us off. And so I've got some really cool items to share with you. This will be a combination of a buy it now sale and an auction, featuring not only the holiday items, but our regular jewelry and decor items as well. I hope you will come and join me on Sunday, July the 19th, 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Christmas in July. Thank you. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye. So that's what's going on with me on Sunday is I'm over in my other channel at 11 a.m. We're going to have some groovy little Christmas holiday stuff and also regular jewelry. It's not all going to be holiday things. So that was a shameless plug for that. I have done okay with having the events for the jewelry. I got enough money to pay for a tire one day, and it helps. I used to do a lot of craft fairs and that kind of thing. And right now, because of COVID, I've lost that income. So it was suggested that I try this as a method of making some money. And also that way I don't have to move the things to Virginia if I sell them and ship them. So anyway, that's what's happening. Monday nights, for those of you who don't know, I have a live stream called the Lodo Coin Collecting Show. And we do a lot of things with car wash quarters and pennies. And we did a nickel box search recently. We've done a penny box search. The things that we do on that channel are what I say they are. They're low dough ways to collect. Not everybody has a lot of money to invest in collecting, but they'd like to have something. So we're doing the state quarters and the national parks, because I can get those at my car wash, and we've just about filled both of those books. So we'll see if we can keep going with that. And then I have all of these. I have 5 or 6, 7, 8 of these tubes that have to be checked for varieties and errors. So when I run out of car wash quarters, then we can start on those. And I'm not going to stay on too much longer. If you missed the first part of this show, you really should go back and watch it, because there was some pretty good information in there. Oh, and I want to once again mention Florida Hunt 7, which is a big metal detecting gathering. It is held in Central Florida near Ocala, and to get the information for it, you need to go to Facebook and go to the Florida Hunt 7 group, and that's where all of the latest information on the event is being posted. Last year, they're doing a little different than last year, because last year they didn't have people pay in advance, and they reserved all the spots and then didn't show up. And that really stunk for people who wanted to go and were told it was full. And then as it turned out, it was not full. And I was one of those people. And being from Florida and being raised in Florida, I was heartbroken that I could not get in there. So this year they're doing it a little bit differently. There's about 300 acres that you get to search, and they have some of the vendors. I know last year Kellyco detectors came. They gave away detectors and t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. It's a really awesome event, and it's a great place to interact with some other detectors. Like I said, it's not until February of next year. So we are hoping by then that this COVID thing will be manageable. So I have just posted the Florida Hunt 7 Facebook group. If you're interested in attending that, you need to go over and get in that group so you can. Yeah, I'm gonna come down for Florida Hunt 7, Cynthia. Yeah, I'll be living in Virginia by then. Clark's Cove detectors, they're about 4 hours north of where I'm going to be, and they're planning on coming down. So I'm going to try and talk to them and see if we can not necessarily be in the same vehicle, but travel together, so that if either one of us has a vehicle issue of some kind, by doing a little caravan thing, so yeah, I plan on coming down. That's the other reason I'm going to go ahead and cancel the trip that I had scheduled to Florida for the end of this month. I just don't think it's safe, and I can't go see my brother. So there's no point in me going down there. If I can't go see my brother, I'll just wait until I can. He is very high risk, and he's not allowing anyone in his house. And so I would not be able to visit with him. So, okay, one more thing that I got going on, and then I'm going to wind this thing down, is, let me just get this real quick. I'm making a mess. Like I said, I apologize to everyone. I'm not at all organized tonight. I'm battling this horrible sinus infection that they thought they had gotten rid of. And as soon as I quit taking the medication, the infection came right back with a vengeance. It gives me the most horrible headache. But I do have a video premiering tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. It is a detecting video. It's not a new one. I filmed it a couple of days after they released the first of the firmware updates for the simplex. And of course, I had never done an update before because I never had a detector that you could do that with. So I did my update, and then of course I'm like itching. I got to run out and play with it. So this is the video of what happened when I updated the thing and ran out the door with it. So it's maybe not what you'll be expecting, but there are 2 or 3 more after this of various stages of the update. So if y'all want to come over there and join me at that premiere at 10 o'clock, that's not very long from now, maybe 40 minutes. It's not a super long video either, but I think you'll enjoy seeing what happened when I did the first of the upgrades. One other little piece of info real quick. I spoke to Mark at Calico Detectors today. He is trying to put his hands on the new coils for the simplex for me to try out. They don't have them even in stock right now, but he gave me a link that I can check every day and see when they come in. And when they do come in, if you are going to purchase one of them, I would appreciate it if you would use my Calico link, because it will give a little bit of money back to this channel. So I'll try and keep everybody informed on us when those become available. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will be back at 10 o'clock in the video premiere. Anybody has any questions or anything, if you haven't hit the like button yet, that'd be a groovy thing to do. Oh yeah, I got to do one more thing. It wouldn't be my show if I didn't do my shameless begging for sponsorship, but I do have a Patreon set up. The tiers start at $5 a month to sponsor the channel, or you can just send a thing through PayPal. It just helps me. I'm a Social Security, so it helps me pay for things like the postage and the envelopes and stuff that I need to send out the prizes. It's not that I don't have the prizes, it's that I have a hard time sending them out. So that's why I keep asking for help, is, I got stuff, that I can give away, because Andy sent me a ton of stuff, and then I had some stuff, but it's getting it out to you that becomes an issue for me. So you can either go over to Patreon, and the address is going across the screen right now. It's patreon.com. It's SusieQ96. Or you can email me through PayPal. Same thing. It's SusieQ96@gmail.com. And because we're not monetized, and I did not anticipate when I started this channel that I was going to have these expenses, because I started out as a detecting channel. And then when COVID came, I switched over to the coins, and that's when the giveaways got going in earnest. That, and the fact that Calico sent me a whole box, gave me a whole bunch of things when I was down there in Florida to give away. And so then I started having to have postage money. So anyway, if anybody can help out with that, Cynthia is one of my Patreon sponsors. Thank you, Cynthia. Susan Berman, who was here earlier, I don't know if she's lurking or gone, but she is also a sponsor. Handy Andy 736 is not a Patreon sponsor, but he is a channel sponsor. So thank those people, because they help keep this place going. That being said, she's lurking. Yep, there's my sister from another mister. So yeah, those are the people that help keep this thing going. So please consider thanking them. And I'm going to go. I will be back at 10 o'clock on the feed for the video. So I thank my monitors, my moderators, Handy Andy 736 and Tiffany Twisted, who was here earlier. And of course, I just thanked my channel sponsors. So we'll see y'all hopefully over at the video. If not, maybe Sunday at the Susie Q auction and buy it now sale. Thanks again for coming. I appreciate it. And go check out that Detector Network. It's a pretty awesome deal. So we'll see y'all. Bye. Doing my princess wave. Bye.